Good morning. It's Dr. Kemi for Kemi Talks Media. It's Thursday, the 7th of August, 2025. Let's talk about the helicopter crash that happened yesterday in Ghana. A lot of you have heard about the Black Wednesday tragedy, in which some of the top level officials in President Mahama's government were in that helicopter. I have a lot to say about it. In last night's, like over midnight, way over midnight, I actually spoke to someone I personally know that's one of the logistic people for that helicopter trip and everything in Accra. You know, Ghana is like my second country. And you know what I mean by that, right? I love that country so much. I love to visit it at least once or twice a year. And Ghana is also our twin sister country in Nigeria. Believe it or not, the Ghanaians are great people. I can tell you because I grew up, okay, in Takoradi and Tema when I was 9, and I had never been to Accra till that 2023 trip. So my father was a lecturer in some of those universities there. And then that whole Ghana must go thing with Shagari and all that. You need to be listening to me for the history of Ghana and Nigeria. This is why President Tinubu was the first to put out condolences. And you guys were saying it's eye service. It's not. You don't really know the impact of what we know. You still have me. Journalism is a rough draft of history. Now, what happened yesterday was a very big tragedy, as in, it's not unusual to see 8 killed in helicopter crash. You see it in the US all the time, training, Marines, and all that. But yesterday's 8, which a little bit different. I mean, the 3 people that were there that were serving their country as armed forces people, one was a sergeant, that's an army guy, and 2 are flying officers and pilots, Air Force guys. The rest 5 on that plane were politicians and high level officials. What shocked me most, and I was very sad, I cried, is the one of them I spoke to on Monday. He was a very selfless person, a politician from Tamale Central in Ghana, okay, Dr. Ibrahim Murtala Mohammed. This guy will talk to anybody on the streets. This guy knew like you on the street. This is someone that actually serves. Do you know those kind of politicians? They don't just sit in the House of Assembly, House of this parliament. They actually know the people they're serving. He'll talk to anybody. Okay. Somebody I personally know, who also likes my work, gave me his number about 4 months ago. I said, I need to speak to whoever is the Minister of Environment here. Because, I'm working on a lot of projects off social media right now in climate crisis and drug abuse prevention. So I told the NDLEA that I can do, Chairman Mara invited me to do a presentation tomorrow on climate crisis and drug abuse and trafficking, because we're not looking in that area. We're talking about floods, we're talking about other things, cloud seeding and all that, but drugs do affect the climate. So I wanted to do this beautiful presentation tomorrow. It's canceled, by the way. We've moved it to the week after. So I wanted to talk to people who have marijuana farms and the effects on the climate, and is it damaging or not? Ghana and California, that's a state in America and a country in Africa, both legalize marijuana for medicinal use. So marijuana farms are popping all over Ghana, and some of the traffickers are using those farms to literally buy and spread it through dispatch riders and all kinds of stuff for recreational purposes, which it hasn't been, legally, whatever form. So the big headline 2-3 weeks ago was that kids were leaving school and they're going to work in the farms. And that was in Volta region. So you can Google it. So it came to my attention, and I wanted to talk to the Minister of Environment and the Minister of Youth Development. Youth Development was somewhere in South Korea, and he'll be back. But I spoke to the Minister of Environment just this Monday. Today's Thursday, right? Imagine talking to someone on Monday, and you tell them what you want to do on the NDLE spaces. And I said, you know what, Minister Mohammed, can you come in on the live? I'd like to maybe introduce you. Maybe you can say a few words. I said, oh, not a problem. So on Friday, I was expecting him. He was possibly going to come on Twitter. Maybe one of his aides will tweet. They have their schedules, but I was like, these are people that woke up yesterday on my birthday, too, my 61st birthday. They woke up and they went to work. They took off at 8:45 in a helicopter just to go to another side of the country to talk about this ongoing stuff with mining. And the president could not make it. So the defense minister, Omani Boma, represented the president, environmental minister, Dr. Mohammed, chairman to the NDC, Dr. Sarpong. They were people I knew. They were on that helicopter. And I was just like broken. It kind of delayed everything I had to do yesterday. It's just like very sad. Anyway, the three young servicemen. My own thing is this, because it could have been the president in that helicopter, Ghana Air Force, I think it's a Z9. I do a lot of work on helicopters. As you guys know, in Canada and America, I was also a traffic reporter, so I have all my helicopter pictures. Like when we go on top of a helicopter, to me, I just think it's safer than an airplane. But when I look at Herbert Wigway's crash in America, that one was at night. I would look at the one yesterday. I look at so many helicopter crashes and I wonder, even that, who is it, the leader of Iran that died in a copter crash, and helicopters. So my condolences to all the families. The tragedy is just too immense. Like Ghana is really dark right now. And the young man that usually plans logistics for all the VIPs, pick them up at the airport, do all that. Spoke to him last night. He was like really, really devastated. I think he was on the media too, but he told me that it was just sad because when you help them and everybody gets ready to go on the trip and stuff, like, it was really distraught, young man. Oh, the whole thing is just crazy. I know how Ghana feels right now. This country is in 3 days of mourning. Mama shut down everything yesterday. Parliament, everything, the whole government shut down. And my condolences to all the Ghanaians and all that. But one thing I noticed there is the internet is flooded with conspiracy theories. Let me go through those conspiracy theories with you. Some are saying the target was the defense minister. Okay, so what makes Burma a target? Investigative journalists look at conspiracy theories and see whether they're true rumors or rumor conspiracy theory. Everything has to be looked up. That's why they have people like the NTSB in America, National Transportation Safety Board. If I were the president of Ghana, I will spend that money and get the NTSB to come and see what happened. You know what I mean? They're the best in America, NTSB. But they also have the NIB in Ghana. That's like the FBI. And they can also gonna start investigating what happened. And of course, the Air Force. I'm a little disturbed. I mean, I'll tell you what I think. Okay. There's always a touch of conspiracy out there. For example, Ibrahim Murtala Mohammed was he was an MP and he was a Minister of Environment, Technology, and something else. But let me tell you something. That guy was like one of the best of the best. Muhammad had the real best cabinet. And Murtala Mohammed was concerned about all that stuff. The galamsey, the destruction of the environment with the mining deposits, gold and everything. So many foreigners, Chinese, illegal mining, all that going on. So they were really cracking down on that and they started. The last administration didn't do much about it. In fact, people were blaming them, Akufo-Addo's administration. But there's this lady, Dr. Hannah Bisu. She went out there, a woman, helmets bulletproof, and she was cracking down to see it with their face and give the president the report. Is that a reason to want to get rid of them? But those are the conspiracy theories I looked at. They're also saying Boma was fighting the drug dealers. Ghana is flooded with drugs now. And he was really, really tackling them. May they rest in peace.